Well, the awards season is over now, so it's time to talk about the top 10 best movies of 2023. Yes, what's up guys, Brendan back here today with another video on the channel, and like I've done the last, sort of consistent few years, I'm talking about the best movies and worst movies from last year. Just not the worst movies, only the best movies in this video. The worst movies from I thought from last year will be in a separate video. But today is the top 10 best movies of 2023, and yes, and we did do one like this last year, talking about the top 10 best movies. If you want to go see that one, I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. But yeah, now it's the 2023 movies this year, and I'm very excited to talk about it. I felt, you know, let's wait after the Oscars are done and all the other awards like the Emmys, Grammys, the other one, Golden Globes is another one, yeah, not for anyone. Whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter anyways. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to try and talk about each of the movies quick, like actually go through them quick, because I'm referring back to last year's top 10 best movies video where, you know, it was a long video. I talked like pretty long through all of them, not like very long. I felt like I talked pretty quick through them, but still it ended up being a long video, you know. And this time around, I want to talk about all the films quickly so that I can edit this quickly and get it up in time, so it's not like too late in the year, you know, because I just want to do that, get it done, get it out there, you know, that'll be good, right? So yeah, I'm going to try and go through these movies as quick as I possibly can. And if you do want to see more in-depth thoughts and reviews on all these films after this review, I'll leave a, or not review, this top 10 video, I'll leave a link for my Letterboxd accounts down in the description below where I left reviews for all these movies this year. So if you want to go see in-depth reviews for all the films on this list, you can go check it out down here. And yeah. And there also will be spoilers for some of these movies I will be talking about here, but I will put a spoiler tag at the start of every film before I start talking about it to let you know there will be spoilers for this film, and I'll also leave a time code of where you can skip past that part in the video to avoid the spoilers. So yeah, I'll do all that for you lovely folks out there. Alright, now all that stuff out of the way, I think it's finally time to get into my top 10 best movies of 2023. At number 10, we got Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Okay, so I'll say straight off the bat, I was not anticipating this movie. I was not excited for it. I never played D&D at all when this film was coming out. I mean, since this past October, I've now played D&D finally, but I never had before, so like I was not really excited or anticipating this movie that much when it was coming out. But you know, my one friend said he wanted to go see it because he was like excited to see how bad it was gonna be because the last D&D movie was, you know. So he said, let's go see this film and see how bad it's going to be. He decided not to actually go see the film at all eventually. But then also I heard the film actually was pretty good from reviews. And then I eventually saw it with one of my other friends. And you know what? I actually really enjoyed it. And again, the previous D&D movie was not that great. So I think most of us was not expecting much from this film, honestly. But it was actually like pretty fun, entertaining, and even like all like the real big like D&D fans who like know the lore and everything. This film apparently is like pretty faithful to, you know, the D&D source material, so that's pretty good. This is just a fun action adventure film. It's just really entertaining to watch, and just it was a blast. You know, we've got a lot of great action set pieces, and you know, some really creative uses of like the magic in this universe, and it's like some fun heisting stuff in this as well. You know, we got a great cast carrying the film. I mean, we have people like Chris Pine, who's always great in these type of roles. We have Michelle Rodriguez, who's just a badass in the film, and it also made me realize, man, they really are underutilizing Michelle in the Fast and Furious films, aren't they? We also have some rising stars in the film, like Sophia Lillis and Justice Smith, who are both just great in the film. They add some fun elements to it. There's some great costume design, set design, creature design. I mean, it's D&D. It's all really good and well done and looks awesome. I mean, there was a section in the middle where it does drag a little bit, and Hugh Grant's villain Forge he's not the most interesting or engaging of a villain. He's pretty just like basic and fine. But you know, then that's, like I said, it's fine with that, because the rest of the movie, like I said, it's just a blast. It's a fun action adventure film. You know, it's just so engaging to watch. It's one of those films that's like, you know, you can kind of just sit back and watch, have a good time, vibe of it. It's just, you know, it's really engaging, a lot of fun. If you're not seen this movie yet, I definitely recommend going to see it. Even if you never played D&D and you're not aware of what the lore and history of it all is, I think you'll still have a good time watching this film, because I didn't know anything either when I watched this movie, and I still had a great time of it. So yeah, if you've don't know anything about D&D, you'll still have a good time watching this film, I assure you. So yeah. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a great film. It's a lot of fun to watch. I definitely recommend going to see it if you have not seen it yet. Number 9, we got Killers of the Flower Moon. This is just another, like, amazing flick by Martin Scorsese. I mean, has he ever, like, not hit? I mean, there's definitely some films of his that are not some of my favorite of his, like The Aviator I thought was good, but not one of my favorites, but he just pretty much never misses, I feel like, when it comes with movies, and Killers of the Flower Moon is definitely really good. I will say it is a bit rough to watch in theaters because it was like 3.5 hours long, which I feel like that film might be a bit more suited and better for streaming, which I think was the primary thing for that movie because it was an Apple Plus movie. So it's a bit much, I think, in theaters for me, the 3.5 hours, but it was still a really engaging film. Not saying it was nothing bad about the 3 hours themselves. Like, everything in those 3.5 hours was really good, really solid. But the movie is great in just how sad it is. Like, just watching, like, De Niro and the DiCaprio just, like, infiltrate this whole Osage family and just, like kill off family members one by one in secret just so they can have their land and all their oil. It's, like, it's very sad and very rough to watch sometimes. Just some of the sad raw emotions happening a lot of time, and just some also just the cruel ways they're just, like, murdering these people. But, like, it's very engaging to watch just to kind of see, you know, what these people were doing to the Osage people. Like not in a good way, obviously, but, like, it's engaging to watch just to see, like, man, like, this was a really screwed up part of history here. Obviously, of course, we have all our big name actors who are doing a great job in this film, like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's great here as always, and Robert De Niro, who's amazing in his role as the villain. Like, he does not do a lot in how he portrays his villainy, but it's, like, very simple when he sits there and how he gives you looks or how he talks to you. He's really good at playing this, like, manipulative, like, piece of shit. Like, like at the end of the film, when you see him get his comeuppance from, or is that how you said that word correctly? I have no idea. I may have just said the word Muppets, probably. When he gets his comeuppance at the end of the movie from DiCaprio, you know, it feels so earned. You kind of just, like pump your fist in the air, like, yeah, suck it. Like, it's just, like, it's so good seeing him get his comeuppance at the end because, you know, De Niro plays him so well. Like, he's such a scumbag. You hate watching this character. It's just, he's great. But another great, like, standout performance in this film is from our new actress in the film, our new star, Lily Gladstone, playing Molly, who is great in this movie. She plays, like, both a very strong, confident character, but at the same time also just a character who deals with such, like, you know, emotion and tragedy and, like, just heartache from, of course, all of her people and family just being killed unknowingly by DiCaprio, her husband, and you know, De Niro and everything. It's just, she gives a great performance, you know, and everything. She unfortunately didn't win the Oscar for her role in the film, went to Emma Stone instead. But, you know, she still does a great job, though. She's amazing in this film. I definitely hope to see her in more stuff afterward because she's terrific here. And also being a Scorsese film, you know, there's a lot of great cinematography and just music. I mean, you know, he's just great at getting all that stuff really well made in any of his movies. It's just like, again, it's Scorsese. He's a king at that kind of stuff. And the ending to the movie is also a very powerful ending. Like, it's not a happy ending in any capacity. Like, there's, like, some elements of, like, you know, victory here, but it's mostly a very depressing ending where, of course, finally you see after the DiCaprio's character, whose name I don't remember now, after he helps take down De Niro and get him arrested, you know, afterwards, like, Molly still asks him, I like how I'm using her actual character's name and not DiCaprio's name. That's just how lazy I am, apparently. After he helps get him arrested and everything, you know, Molly asks him, you know, after the whole ordeal and everything, if he did poison her because he was instructed by being manipulated by De Niro originally early on to, like, slowly poison his wife so that she can die and then get, you know, all her wealth and shit. And, you know, he was doing that, but at some point they do fix her. The doctors help her out. She doesn't die, which is great. And, you know, he does feel bad and doesn't want her to die now, which he's glad she didn't die. But when she approaches him about it, he can't tell her. He cannot tell her that he was actually doing that. He lies, and that ends their marriage because, you know, although he ended up coming out on the other side, like, helping take down the enemy, you know, he was still, like, too much damage was done by De Niro's character where he can't admit that to her, and then their marriage ends. And even worse after that, you know, when Molly does eventually pass away, you know, it's a really sad message where they tell you how, you know, even after Molly died, she was the last of her whole family and people in the land. Like, there was no mention of her at all in the paper whatsoever, which is just more like, just showing you more of the, like, hidden, like darkness to this part of history, showing how, you know, people just didn't care or didn't really acknowledge when these Osage people were being killed, or just even when they passed away. Like, you know, this was an important a big thing. Like, you know, Washington and everything, they came down to help out the Osage people from all this terrible crap. And even after, like, Molly does finally pass away, there's no acknowledgement and no one even was aware she died, which is just such a sad, like, truth about the history there. It's really again, it's not a good ending. It's just like, it's one of those endings that hits you hard where it's like, yeah, that was history and it sucked. It's a terrific movie. If you've not seen it yet, it's great. It's probably, maybe, I don't know if it's one of my favorites from Scorsese, but it might be up there. I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch again at some point. It's a really good movie. I definitely recommend going to check it out. I give it a 8 out of 10. Killers of the Flower Moon. Great movie. Number 8 is A Man Called Otto, a film that technically, if you look it up, it's considered a 2022 movie, but I think it had like a film festival release in 2022, but its official worldwide release date was in January of 2023, so I'm counting it. And yeah, I was gonna go watch the movie anyway because I love Tom Hanks, he's my favorite actor, but I wasn't really sure what to expect from this film because it was releasing in January, and January is commonly the dumping ground for movies that studios don't really give a shit about and like don't just believable flops. They just chuck them in January and like be done with it. But if 2024 has proven anything, that, you know, just because a film released in January does not mean it's going to be a bad film. You know, sometimes films that come out the following month could be actual stinkers and are worse than some of the films that came out in January. Yeah, we learned that lesson this year so far, didn't we? But I went and watched the film. I didn't know what to expect. I think it's based off a book, or maybe it was a remake of a previous movie. I can't quite remember, but I went and saw it, and I thought it was great. I even actually got a little bit like teary-eyed at the end of the movie, like honestly. And if a movie's getting me to cry a little bit in any capacity at some point in their movie, then it's doing something right. Again, Tom Hanks, who's one of my favorite actors, might be like my favorite actor, but he gives a great performance here as Otto, where he's a man who recently lost his wife, so he feels like there's not much left to do in life. So like he's really depressed, and a lot of points in the movie he actually does try to take his life. So it's a sad movie like that, and, you know, and he plays the role so well. But, you know, he does, as the film goes on, does find, you know, reason and purpose to keep going. You know, he does make friends and everything with his new neighbor, and, you know, it's a really sad performance, just seeing how like just this man feels like he has nothing left now that his wife is gone, and, you know, it's sad watching. But at the same time, also, the film has a mixture of, like, both the sadness and some humor for levity, which I think works really well to the film's favor, so that it's not such a just, like, sad film here. Like, the humor does help levity a lot of these moments, and Hanks, again, plays off the humor so well, like, because, again, he's depressed, but also he's playing a curmudgeonly old man, which he even was like that a little bit before his wife died, so those moments are fun when he's kind of curmudgeonly talking to some people and everything. But, you know, you do sympathize with him, though, despite all that kind of, like, rudeness he has at a lot of points in the movie. Like, you do sympathize with this character. Although I will say, the one thing I'll say about this film that doesn't work with both the drama and the comedy is there are a few times in the movie when he is trying to take his life where after it happens, or where it's unsuccessful, him trying to do it, you know, it's like almost play as a joke in a weird way. Like at one point when he's trying to I mean, okay, sensitive subject, I guess. He does try to hang himself at one point, but like he doesn't count for the weight, so he it breaks the ceiling and he falls and everything. It doesn't quite work. And, you know, like it's really, those scenes are kind of weird because it's like, and even then after that scene, there's a following joke, which whenever that kind of stuff does happen, it does feel very strange and off-putting, where it's like, okay, we have a joke or some comedy now here a little bit after this man tried to kill himself, which is very weird. I mean, it doesn't ruin the movie. Like, a lot of the other, serious moments and other comedy moments are still really good. Those moments are weird. They are a little weird and a bit jarring to watch, I will say, though. But again, it does not detract from the rest of the movie. The movie, like I said, it does end, and it got me, you know, teary-eyed, got me, sad, you know. It's it's both a sad ending, but also a happy ending with what happens. I don't want to spoil this one here. I think you should definitely go check it out for yourself. But I don't know. I thought it was a really emotional, engaging film that just, yeah, it got me. Tom Hanks, you've done it again. I love your work, man. So keep it up. And yeah, besides, again, the weird, awkward stuff with some of that drama and comedy scenes at some points, you know, it's a really engaging, just like funny and emotional film. It worked very well. So yeah, A Man Called Otto, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Go check it out. Number 7 is American Fiction, which American Fiction was such an interesting idea when the movie started. I did not know what that movie was really about when I saw the trailers or anything, but when I watched it, I was really enthralled by the story of it. I thought it was a really different and just interesting story. Of course, the plot about being, Jeffrey Wright's character Monk, who's an author, a writer, but, his books are placed into, like, the library sections that are designated, African-American study books just because he's a black author, but he's like, my books have nothing to do with, like black history or anything like that. It's just, you're only putting it in there because I'm a black writer. But as he goes throughout the movie, he realizes and sees how a lot of media, especially with books and novels, kind of pander to audiences with black people in their lives, with racism and slavery or cops and father problems and all that. Like, stuff that just he's like, this is all super pandering stuff you write because I think that's what we want to have written about us, which is was really interesting. I've never seen a story tackle that kind of subject with black people in movies. I thought that was actually really interesting. And he decides to stick it to people a bit, or he decides to write a book that's super just stereotypical pandering, as you expect to see in most of these books. Like this one book that's getting praised right now for being basically a pandering book, as he called it. So he writes a book that's super just like that. But then all of a sudden, that's his most successful book. He writes under a fake name, but it's the most successful thing he's written. People want to purchase it and make a movie about it immediately. And he's just God damn it, what the hell? And it was just it was a fun movie just seeing him just struggle and be annoyed at how stupid people are. It's oh, now you want my book because I wrote so pandery about this shit. Are you kidding me? And it was a really funny. It's a drama. It has a lot of good drama, but it's also really funny at the same time. It's a really good comedy. I would say it's more so a comedy with drama instead of a drama with comedy, which there is a difference. Which is why I found it weird this film was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, because it did not feel like a typical movie that they would nominate for Best Picture at the Oscars. Maybe it was nominated because they were short spot because Dune 2 got delayed from 2023, so I don't know, that was it. But, it didn't really feel like an Oscar Best Picture film, but I still really enjoyed it. I loved, a lot of the characters, all the performances were great from Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown. Again, the story was so, just interesting, because I've never seen, someone, a movie tackle, this kind of story like that before. I thought that was really interesting. And again, it was also, it was not a too serious movie. It was, there were some good serious, and drama moments, but, there's a lot of funny stuff, actual genuinely funny stuff that I really enjoyed. It was just, it was a solid time, I thought, honestly. So, yeah, American Fiction, 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend going to see that movie. It's just, it's a good time. It's a fun, good time with just a good story, good premise, good jokes, good performances, and all that. Yeah, I definitely recommend going to check that one out. So, yeah. Number 6 is the Ironclaw, which I was so disappointed this got nominated for no Oscars at all, because honestly, I don't know how. Maybe it was just came out too late to be submitted. I don't really know, but man, this was a really good movie. I didn't really know. I had no intention of seeing this movie originally, but then my friend said he wanted to see a movie and he chose this film, so I was all right, yeah, we'll go see it. So I was not really sure what to expect with this film. I thought I had the film thought about all wrong. I thought the movie was more about Zac Efron's character joining a group of wrestlers and becoming a wrestler and learning how to become a wrestler. That's not what this is about at all. The Von Erich family, who's apparently a very famous family in wrestling, which I don't really know them, but I don't watch wrestling. But just it's going from American Fiction, which is a really a really funny movie, to this movie, which is just a sad, really sad, dramatic movie. It's just so sad, and I want to say right off the bat, Zac Efron, he was a terrific performance in this movie. He's really good. Watching the film, it was kind of surprising to watch him going man, this is the guy from High School Musical from 15 years ago or so. It's crazy seeing how far he's come. It's nuts, honestly. It's really crazy. He does great in this movie. It's he's terrific. And damn, that man is in shape you wouldn't believe. Holy crap. It's nuts how ripped he is, honestly. And the rest of the movie is really good. Again, the Von Erich family, the movie starts off pretty solid, pretty fine, pretty good, but it increases in quality and just engaging factor as it goes on, because it's just a sad fest as it's so sad because their father in the movie, he's a real piece of shit. He's so vindictive and forceful at putting all his family, all his kids in the wrestling ring. And it just leads to such a sad slope of just depressing, outcomes and everything. When by the end of the film, when after now all of his family dies, and when his final brother died, and he starts attacking his father and choking him out at one point, I'm kind of yeah, kind of do it almost. I mean, I don't support this, but Jesus, like, your father sucks. He's awful. And I mean, and credit to the actor playing his father also. He's like he played that role really well. And just like, like, but you're engaged the whole time just seeing, because you're praying, you're hoping nothing bad happens to these guys. But like, the life they're being forced into by their father, just it pushing them and pushing. It's just, it tears them all apart. And it's so sad, but so engaging to watch at the same time. And I thought, honestly, the movie could have ended, like, a little bit earlier than it did. I thought there was a point when, like, after he had his big fight with Ric Flair, Zac Efron's character, what is his name? I'm gonna look it up right now. Kevin. Yeah, after he has his big fight with, like, Ric Flair, and, his dad asks him, are you good and everything? Because Kevin, like, really, like, went out with Ric Flair at one point with the claw and their signature move, or the Ironclaw, title of the movie. And then it cuts to him, like, just picking up his daughter from school now, from the school bus, and, like, he then goes home with his wife and and they are making, like, dinner. They're making dinner and everything, and they're just chilling, they're having a good time being a family. I thought it could have ended there, but then when it gets to the other point in the movie, in the final scene, when, like, he's sitting there watching his two kids playing, like, soccer or whatever together outside, and he starts crying, and they go over to him asking, hey, what's wrong, Dad? And he's just like, it's nothing, just watching you guys, remember? I used to be a brother, and I'm not anymore. Like, such a hard-hitting line. Like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, no, I get why it kept going now. Like, that's a damn hard line. Like, and it's so sad, but at the same time, like, it still ended well. Like, he's managed to escape his father's shadow, managed to get out of that life. He sold their wrestling ring so that the wrestling was gone, completely gone from their family. He just, I think he's a manager now for it and everything. But, it was a satisfying ending so that he got at least to survive and get away from his father and everything, but and also ruin his father. Good job. But it was also so sad. It was such a that final line was so hard hitting. It was just that was so depressing to hear that. Like, just it is such a like sad movie to watch, but again, it's one of those films that is engaging to watch because how sad it is and the emotions are just great. Like, once again, I'm so sad this film didn't get nominated for anything at the Oscars. I think they should have gotten nominated, maybe at least, I don't know, Best Picture, Screenplay, maybe even performance by Zac Efron. I'm not really sure, but like, I feel like it should have gotten something at least. It was just really good. I mean, honestly, yeah. Go check out the Ironclaw. It's a great movie. Just a really emotional, like, powerful, packs a great punch, honestly. Go check it out. 8 out of 10. It was a great movie. Number 5 is John Wick Chapter 4, the current final film in the John Wick series. I mean, we do have the spin-off film coming out next year, but for the mainline series, this is the final film right now. They are trying to get a 5th film going. But honestly, I wouldn't mind if we didn't get a 5th film. I mean, if we did get a 5th film, I would still go watch it because these are just great movies. But at the same time, this movie ended at a point where it's like, I'd be good if it ended here. This is a solid ending right here. And I mean, the John Wick series, just in general, like, every film has been a knockout. I mean, my least favorite would probably be 2, but even then, 2 is still really good. Like, every one of these movies is just solid, Like, these films helped Keanu Reeves a lot, like, bouncing back in his career. Just, he had a really iconic character straight away. It's a lot of fun. And this 4th film, it's long, it pays homage to a lot of classic stuff in action movies, like, there's a scene that pays homage to the 7 Samurai. And when I think to, like, Jurassic Park is what my friend said. But, it's so engaging. I mean, again, what you expect from the John Wick series, terrific action from, like, Keanu. He's doing great here. Some great set pieces, some creative, like, fun stuff. Like, that one staircase sequence, my God, it's so silly, but just a lot of fun. Like, that's what you kind of come here for with these John Wick movies. You come here for just some nutcase action and, like, just violent, gruesome shit. I mean, I don't think this film gets as violent as the last film, because the last film did have that one scene where he stabbed the guy in the eye, that was probably the grossest thing in all these movies, honestly. I mean, but tied with that, with the pencil scene, which, yeah, balls to the wall, just fun action that Keanu is just, like, doing greatly, as well also Chad Stahelski, the director, who helped him, who was, worked with Keanu back during the Matrix series. They're just a great combo together. They're just a knockout team together, and, like, it's just a lot of fun. They do great work together. But expanding more of the lore, there's, like, a lot of other, we learned about another friend from John's past, this time being Kane, played by Donnie Yen, who this time seems to be a much more personal, like, friend of John's. Like, they have a real, actual strong, like friendship connection that, like, having him here, who, like, he's a blind, like, warrior, like, he's like Daredevil, basically. Yeah, but, he'll kill you. And like, but like their connection is like a lot of their scenes together are so good and like so fun. Like it's a great addition having Donnie Yen here, as well as all our other actors in the film, like Hiroyuki Sanada, who's just a legend. He's great in like pretty much everything I've seen that guy in. You know, he's awesome that we're having him here. But we also got Shamir Anderson as the character Nobody, which Shamir Anderson, he's a rising star. That guy's awesome. Like I loved him in this and another film I saw him in, which is called Stowaway. Great movie also, by the way. And if the MCU is recasting Kang, I'm casting my vote for Shamir Anderson. So Kevin Feige, MCU, if you want a new Kang actor, get Shamir Anderson. That's my top pick. I mean, that might be going Coleman Domingo, but my top pick would still be Shamir Anderson. He's terrific. That's enough of a side tangent there, isn't it? And of course, a lot of our returning favorites also are still in the movie as well. Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King, you know, he's fun. It's great having him and doing, you know, more scenes than usual, I think, in this film than the previous two. It was great having him here. And of course, Lance Reddick's in the movie as well as Sharon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I butcher it. And, you know, very sad, of course, because this film came out, like, he died a week before this film came out, which was very sad. So, of course, it made watch this movie, you know, really sad just watching him and going like, damn, he literally just died a week ago. And that sucked. And I love Lance Reddick. He's one of those, I'm not sure if he's like in my top 10 favorite actors, but he's one of those actors that you just love seeing. He's always committing like so hard to whatever he's doing, either seriously or comedically or both. He's great. So it was sad watching the film a bit knowing he died. I mean, it's not his final project. He had a bunch of other stuff come out after this. I think he still has a few other things coming. Like, I mean, he is in the John Wick spinoff Ballerina. He filmed that one before he died. So he'll still be in the John Wick universe one more time at least. But yeah, I don't know if he has anything else in the pipeline, but yeah, man, it was sad hearing him die and it was just sad seeing him in this movie again as well. And yeah. But yeah, just a rip-roaring good time. I mean, just the John Wick movies never fail to be both engaging in their action and funny and just, you know, and sad a little bit in a way. There's some good sad moments in the movie as well. Again, I would not care if they end the series here. Like, this is a great, like, ending here and right now. I mean, again, if we get a fifth film, I'll go watch it if we still have Keanu, obviously, and Chad Stahelski because they're a great duo. But again, I would not complain if it ended right here because the way this movie ends is, I think, would be a good place to end the series. It's a great ending. So, yeah, John Wick Chapter 4, 9 out of 10. Definitely go watch it. It's a blast. Now we got number 4, which is Oppenheimer, which might be Christopher Nolan's magnum opus. I mean, I know it's what everyone else is saying. It might possibly be that for me as well. I mean, I don't know, The Dark Knight is still very much up there. I have to give Oppenheimer another watch. I've seen it 2 times now, but, you know, it's really good. I mean, I will say, you know, it does take the film a little bit to get going for me early on, because when they're, like, in the film early on, like, you know, just, like, really talking about all, like, the science stuff and, like, you know, some other, like history stuff and some, like, math stuff, like, all that stuff, like, that stuff it was hard for me to get into early on because I did not, and this is more so for me, I don't really understand what they were talking about because I don't know science and math that well, so that part definitely made some of that early stuff hard to get into, but, like, once we get going, like, start getting, like, steamrolled straight ahead into, like, them making the atomic bomb, you know, it is so good. I mean, again, on technical level, cinematography and sound alone, it's just amazing. Watching this film in IMAX when it came out, like, you felt like the speakers were gonna blow up. It was just like, boom. It was nuts. And again, you know, besides technical aspects, the film has an amazing cast to bolster it as well. I mean, like, this is probably, I mean, definitely, like, Nolan's best cast. Like, pretty much everybody in Hollywood was in this movie. Like, you know, a lot of standout performances, you know, like Emily Blunt, she's great in here as Kitty. Robert Downey Jr. in his now Oscar-winning role as Lewis, he's terrific here. He's so great. It's a great performance after Iron Man instead of Doolittle. That was a weird thing he did in the middle. Good thing he had this. Matt Damon, he's great as the military general in this. I mean, there's so many good actors in this film. It's just an all-star cast. We have Florence Pugh, Alden Ehrenreich, Matthew Modine, Benny Safdie, Rami Malek, Josh Hartnett. I mean, so many good actors in the film. I mean, I personally can't believe that some of the people that helped create the atomic bomb involved Josh Nichols from Drake and Josh, Bernard from the Santa Claus movies, Will Stronghold from Sky High, and Superman. I know it probably would have made more sense to mention Huey from The Boys for Jack Quaid, but it sounds more funny when I mentioned Superman instead of Huey. And of course, I'm not forgetting him, Cillian Murphy as Robert Oppenheimer, who's just a knockout performance in this whole movie. You know, Cillian Murphy, I always liked him for the most part. You know, I didn't love him as Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy. After watching him in this movie, I get it. I get why he's such a good actor. I mean, like, just the emotion and pain he expresses in just his eyes alone is nuts. Like, just you see the trauma that he has after they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Like, just in that one scene alone, like, I think my favorite scene in the movie is that scene when he goes to give that speech to all those people that are excited after they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. But then, like, it's both a good combination of his acting and the sound mixing and editing there. Just so damn good, that one scene. It was so good. You know, it was a really solid movie. It was just really good. And yes, I do agree with everyone else here. Florence Pugh's scenes could be cut out and you would not miss a thing. I get why they're here in the movie, but yeah, you could cut them out and not miss anything. Just the whole story is just engaging, and just seeing like Robert Oppenheimer's journey from creating the bomb and then also trying, manage, atomic warfare. It's just a really solid movie. It definitely probably is Nolan's magnum opus. So yeah, really great. If you're not seeing it yet, check it out. 8 out of 10 for me on this one. It's just great. I understand it's a score lower than John Wick, but I still think it was better a little bit. Number 3 on the list we have is Talk to Me, the horror film by A24, directed by Danny and Michael Philippou of the Raka Raka YouTube channel, which is awesome. I did do a full review on this film on YouTube, so if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. So I will not waste too much time at all on this one, but I love the Raka Raka guys. I was so excited when I heard they were making their own feature-length movie and that A24 bought it, so it would be like distributed and that internationally. I can't talk. And just such an interesting idea with this possession in this movie. It was like really well made, and I've heard all the stories about them making this film, like how they're on a tight budget and like the short shooting schedule they had. But like it's so good you don't even notice that. Like the performances are really good. With Sophia Wilde, not Sophia Wilde, is it? No, it's Sophie Wilde. God damn it. She's terrific with both fear and anger. And, just fun. She's great in the movie. The practical effects and the makeup are all really well done. There's some great direction here and storytelling and themes, stuff up to your own interpretation of the film. It's really good. Honestly, again, if you're not that too into horror films, you probably wouldn't like this because if you're not into scary stuff, it's not even that scary. The scary stuff is more so some of the themes and elements that they discuss. There's nothing jump at your face at you, trying to scare you, boo, in slasher films. It's more just the scenario that's what's scary. That's what's scary about this movie. And I think that's the more interesting type of horror film. It's more so scenarios like The Shining and everything, instead of slasher films. This is genuine, good horror, well made. Once again, congratulations Raka Raka on such a good movie. I can't wait for the sequel they're making. I'm interested in seeing what they do and their future films like Street Fighter the movie. Definitely gonna want to see that. Yeah, Talk to Me is a 9 out of 10. Number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Again, we did do a full review of this film on YouTube, so I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. But yeah, once again, the movie, the ending to the Guardians trilogy, at least the first one for now, if they plan to make more, and James Gunn's swan song to the MCU before he left for the DC universe. And it's so good. I'm not watching it since it came out, but it's really good. Just everything feels like it pays off well. I love the endings we get with all the characters. Rocket's storyline is so good in this movie. I love exploring more of him. The CGI on Rocket is amazing, and the performance by Bradley Cooper on Rocket, all really great. Again, it's James Gunn with the Guardians, so there's a lot of great humor, a lot of great moments of family with them as a found family. The music, kick-ass. That's always great in these movies. There's a really awesome action sequence in the film of them in a hallway that's just one take, which is just showing off. James Gunn's just yeah, here's my entry for one of the best action scenes in the MCU. Yeah, it's he's just take that Daredevil hallway scene. He's competing with the Daredevil hallway scene from season 1. It was an amazing action sequence, well done there. And the new characters, Adam Warlock, he's a lot of fun. The High Evolutionary, he's a great, frantic, nutcase villain. It's a good contrast, all 3 villains in this trilogy. Ronin's just very kind of basic evil. Ego's a bit more manipulative evil. And then High Evolutionary is just screaming, just madness, and just he's chaotic. It's so much fun. And again, there's a lot of sad moments in the movie that get you, pulling at your heartstrings. They're awesome. It's just, again, it's such a good movie. It's awesome, a great, definitely one of the best in the MCU that a lot of people agree in recent memory. It's just a lot of fun. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is just terrific. Guardians of the Galaxy, 10 out of 10. And finally, coming in at number 1 on this list for the best movie of 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, because, come on, it's Spider-Man Across Spiderverse. I unfortunately never did a review for this film, which I'm sad about, but I mean, just awesome. It's just so good. I mean, like, you have to talk about the animation first of this film. And the movie, I was sad it didn't win for Best Animated Film at the Oscars. I mean, I've never seen Boy and the Heron. I've heard Boy and the Heron, how you pronounce it. I have not seen that movie. I heard it was good, so I can't judge it on if it should have won or not, but I've heard it was good, so I can't really judge it. But I wish this one won, because I feel like for Best Animated Feature, you definitely should also focus on a little bit of animation, what the film brings to that category alone, because this movie is like, it's insane, the animation here. I mean, of course, it's sad that there was so much heavy crunch time that the animators were forced on. That sucks. You know, it's understandable why the third film is going to take a little bit longer, because, you know, that sucks. They were crunching on the animators so hard. That's not great. But still, like, you know, the hard work did pay off, because this animation in this film is splendid. It's awesome. The art style, like, I mean, there's so many frames you could freeze on that is just like beautiful paintings or just like still images. Like, there are so many good images. And like, the music also is great as well. The characters and the dynamics are so good. I mean, all the returning characters, Miles, Gwen, they're awesome. Peter B. Parker, you know, Miles' parents, they're great. Our new characters like Spider-Man 2099, love him. He's awesome in this movie. You know, Spider-Punk, so good. You know, he's an awesome like bro to Miles. You know, Pavitt Parker of Spider-Man India, he's awesome as well. I mean, every character is great in this movie. Like, even the Spot is great. Spot is like a C-tier, like, just silly villain, but they made him so cool and like threatening even in the movie. I mean, there's so much in this that is hard not to love. I mean, last time I watched this, I was like, how can you not love this? I mean, I know some people do, like, are a little bit more critical in the movie. Not too much, I don't think. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, you know, the film is good, but it's not a complete story. It's a two-parter, which is fair. I understand that. I feel like they should have left the part 1 attached to the title, because it was originally called Across Spider-Verse Part 1, but they took it off, which I feel like that would have probably been better for a lot of people. They left Part 1 on there to let them know that this is not going to be a complete story. But I still think it ended on a good point for the Part 1, and I'm excited to see where Part 2 goes. And I know there's also a lot of other people that have some problems with like the plot with Miguel, mainly about, you know, telling every Spider-Man that, oh, you have to join me because the canon, we can't disrupt canon events, you know, we have to let some of these people like die basically for this stuff to be reserved. I know some people have harped on that a bit, because like, well, would really all these Spider-Man join him with that reason? I need water. And, you know, that's a lot of people do find that as a little bit of a problem, you know. I mean, obviously, of course, I'm not going to judge people who have that kind of problem in the movie about how they find that, you know, it doesn't make sense why the Spider Society would be going along with Miguel in this matter, you know. But, and of course, I respect everyone's opinions on that. I have no disrespect for that opinion. The way I personally like to look at it is that, you know, there's clearly more to the story that we have not gotten yet, which we'll get into part 3, because, you know, Miguel, you know, he was a much more happier, like, more, not as, like, he wasn't, like, comedical still, but he was a little bit more not as serious when he appeared in the after credit scene for the first film. But then all of a sudden, you know, he's here because, again, like, he clearly started doing this, like, before that canon event, I think, as far as we know, at least. I don't know, but, like, I don't know, in the first film, he seemed different, and in this film, he's obviously now different. So I feel like there's something he's not telling us, and that he's done something to mislead, you know, the rest of the Spider people to join him. So I feel like there's still something to the story we're not getting here that we're going to get into part 3. So yeah, I'm still giving the benefit of the doubt, but still, it is a still strong reason, I believe, to still, like, try to convince them and like basically trick them and guilt trip them or gaslight them to joining him, basically, because again, he brings up the points of the canon events about, you know, Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy or Captain Stacy, which, you know, again, sure, it's fair for people to have their opinion about it, that it doesn't make sense. But, you know, I think it's still, like, a good reason for him to try and, like, convince them in some weird way. I think it works. Again, I don't think that's all to that part of the plot, but I think there's more to come with part 3. And, yeah, there's that. But, yeah, it's hard to put into words how great this movie is. I mean, I think, like, I still don't know if I like this one, the first one more. Like, they're both just knockouts. I mean, this one, animation is definitely the best in this one. It is spectacular. Like, you can watch this film so many times and still find so many little details. It's just great. Like, I love the character stories with Miles and Gwen, like everything, like their relationship building, what's gonna happen with them, and a lot of the new characters, like, how will this conflict end with Miguel, it's so interesting. And again, where it leaves off on the cliffhanger with, Miles, he's like now stuck in the universe that his spider came from and everything, and he's captured by like that version of him who's the Prowler, and Gwen's now out trying to find him with her Spider Society, and so is Miguel. It's a battle now. It's just, I'm so excited. Man, it's sad. The film was meant to come out this past March, originally part 3, but now we're not gonna get to who knows when. But I'm okay with that. I'll wait for this part 3, because part 2, this one is just incredible. And, I think there is some stuff that we don't know about yet, because they clearly were planning the story, like, in advance in the first part, because, there was already stuff being, like, planted for, the spider coming from another Earth that bits Miles. So they clearly were setting up some stuff. So clearly, I think there's more still under the sun that we don't know yet about. God damn it. There's clearly more under the sun that we don't know about yet with Miguel's plan and what he told everyone. But yeah, Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse is it's a triumph in animation. It's an amazing, film. Like, this is how good this film is. Like, my buddy, our co-host Thomas, he wasn't really keeping up with, the Marvel films anymore since, Endgame and everything. But, we went and saw this film because we were excited for this one. And, this one really got him, sort of back into Marvel. I mean, he's still not keeping up with the MCU still to this day. But, this one really got him, kind of, interested in looking back into Spider-Man stuff and some other, comic stuff online again. So, that's how good this film is. It can, re-kickstart your Marvel addiction. It's like, the film's like crack. But yeah, I will wait however long it is for part 3, because goddamn, this film was so good, and a lot of great Easter eggs and references, some real deep cut ones, and man, it's just so much good in here. It's a Spider-Man fan's just ultimate dream here. It's just such a fun, engaging, stylish, well executed movie in every format, in every area. It's so good. Across Spider-Verse, 10 out of 10. Favorite movie of the year. Amazing. Alright, well, I have no idea if this will be a short video at all. I guess we'll see in the edits. There it is, how the time length for the video. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Please tell me in the comment section down below, what were your top 10 movies of last year? Or did you not, if you don't have a top 10, just tell me what were your top 5, top 3, or just maybe what was your your one movie that you thought was your favorite, your absolute favorite of last year. Just tell me what was your favorite movie of last year or anything like that. I would love to know. And once again, go check out my Letterboxd link down in the description below to see all my reviews on these movies. As well, I'll leave a link also to my full ranking of every movie I saw, every new 2023 movie I saw from last year. You'll notice in the ranking, obviously some films are slightly different up top in their placements, but I was trying to be fair, ranking them on their quality and how I rank. Oh, god damn it! I was trying to be fair on how I ranked them by what score I gave them, how many stars and everything on Letterboxd. And I was trying to be fair, but overall, if I were to look at what my top 10 favorite movies are, it is this list right here. So yeah, but yeah, I'll leave a link for both my Letterboxd account and that specific list down in the description below. And stay tuned for the top 10 worst movies of 2023 as well. So that should be coming out pretty soon. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.
Hey, it's Yuri Lowenthal here. You might know me from this Marvel Spider-Man games or other places as well. You're tuned in to 100 Bomb Studios. Hit like and subscribe, but only if you like really, really nerdy stuff. Because that's why I'm here.